A very controversial topic that is being talked about in many news reports, printed in newspapers, and was part of the presidential debate was, should same-sex marriage be legalized? I think the first thing we need to define is a marriage. So I went online on Merriam-Webster dictionary.com and looked up the definition of marriage. It gave me two definitions. The first one being the state of being united to a person of the opposite sex as husband or wife in a consensual and contractual relationship recognized by law. The second, the state of being united to a person of the same sex in a relationship that like that of a traditional marriage. So when you apply the definition of marriage to the question, I do think that same-sex marriage should be legalized for many different reasons. The first one, a lot of people like to quote biblical verses and quote religious reasons why same-sex marriage should not be legalized. However, if we lived in and by the Bible says to follow the laws of the land. Well, we can interpret that as speeding, and we're all guilty of speeding at some point, whether it's notice or we all get a ticket. Another thing would be in Deuteronomy 19:21. It says, "So show no pity, a life for a life, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a hand for a hand, and a foot for a foot." There are numerous punishments in the Bible that we deemed now to be inhumane. I feel that religious oppression is what founded this country, and one religion and belief should not define what is acceptable and legal and what is not. Another reason we should legalize same-sex marriage is equality and freedom. In Cleveland Board of Education versus LaFleur, the U.S. United States Supreme Court ruled that freedom of personal choice in matters of marriage and family life is one of the liberties protected by the Due Process and Equality Protection Clause. This is one of your First Amendment rights. We have the freedom of speech, and as far as the United States Supreme Court has ruled, that is protected. In the United States, we have had a long history of discrimination. Until 1967, interracial marriages were illegal. I don't know how we're in the year of 2012. I don't know how much longer it will take before we recognize same-sex couples. Another benefit to having legalized same-sex marriage is the couples will be able to have the same health benefits that legal couples have, as far as when it comes to an emergency and they need to make life or death decisions for their spouse. They would be allowed to do that. As of now, they're not allowed to make any decisions for their significant other in the event of an emergency, whether that's the only person that they know and that they're estranged from their family, or if their family's there, they should be considered the next of kin. If we legalized same-sex marriage, it would be their decision as to make health decisions on behalf of their loved one. Also, tax revenue would increase. Same-sex couples would be able to file jointly on their income tax returns, and this would create revenue for the United States. In New York, a study showed that legalizing same-sex marriage could create a revenue of $184 million to the state's economy over 3 years. I got that information from the comptroller for NewYorkCity.com. It would also allow same-sex couples to have the same legal benefits as far as property ownership, and give them the same protection when a marriage would end as currently, heterosexual couples are protected. Another reason why to legalize same-sex marriage is the high risk of sexual behavior of same-sex couples would decrease. The GBLs, or the gay, bi, and lesbian community, a lot may partake in frivolous or carefree single lifestyles because they can't be legally married to one person. However, legalizing same-sex marriage would allow this to decrease. There are many reasons why same-sex marriages should be legal. Discrimination has to end. Liberty and equality should be a privilege for each individual, and each person should be inclined to experience. Thank you.